Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me, as always, is Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, what a no UFC this past weekend, but still had the MMA still was kicking live and kicking, and we might as well start off with. You mentioned it at the end. The guy who's kind of our, he's actually in our intro. He is our logo, not always in the best ways, but Tony Ferguson gets his first win in like a half a decade on Saturday. And, Misfits on the Misfits card. We could start there. We got the MSG card to talk about the announcements, but I feel like we should start with that Misfits card with Tony Time finally getting a win. It might be in boxing, but nonetheless, a win is a win for Mr. Tony Ferguson.
I agree. A great place to start. However, before we do, I'd like to personally congratulate you on fleecing that dumb motherfucker, Jerry Jones, for Micah Parsons. I understand this is not a football show. This is the MMA show. But I just had to, I hope Jerry Jones lives to be 120 years old and continues to slowly kill the star one by one. So congratulations on that. And, as far as Tony, I think everyone was on a little bit of eggshells just from kind of the PTSD of, seeing his fights in the past, watching with the hands through the eyes. And he won. Let's not bury the lead. I love Tony Ferguson. I do think it was a pretty terrible stoppage. But at the same time, I am willing to overlook it, just purely because it's Tony there.
Yeah, me too. It was an early stoppage, but hey, maybe they wanted to have the feel-good moment for Misfits and get Tony the win. I'm not saying it was rigged by all means, but, hey, nice win for Tony Ferguson. Nice win. Also on that card, you had Dylan Dennis gets his first, MMA win in a long time. And I don't know what I don't know. He kind of called out all the 170ers in the UFC. I don't think the UFC is going to do that at all. But maybe you do Tony and Dylan Dennis. They were going to do that, the GFL. Maybe the Misfits put that on.
I mean, ironically, that's kind of the fight I was hoping we'd get, a little bit more I guess, competition for competition sort of thing. But at the same time, I'm glad Tony, got the W off his back there because, I mean, who knows? It could have been a big reason why he's still continuing to fight. Just wanted to go out on a good note. But from what I can tell, Misfits is paying him pretty decently and stuff. So I could see them trying to build it around. It was kind of bizarre. The Dennis match was like a MMA rules, but in a boxing match. And, it didn't really go too long. I mean, the highlights I saw were longer than the actual fight. So, they kind of build that as what they could. They kind of use Dylan's, I don't know if you want to call it star power or like generational hate watch. It seems to be what most people tune in for, but he got the dub. He called out everyone and their mother. So I'm sure they'll have something next for him. I know he wants KSI. I mean, where I kind of stand with this. I really have no appetite for any of this. I'm just glad the guys are getting their money and stuff. Probably the only thing that was actually really considered a fight was the main event, even though it didn't really turn out to be one. Don't ever need to see Luke Rockhold fight again. I'm glad he said that's probably going to be his decision because there's no reason to be taking shots like that. Darren Till, is he the one that could possibly beat Jake Paul? I feel like a moron for even asking that question, but I don't really know where he wants to go with this, but he definitely, in my opinion, could still be somewhat a contender if he ever wanted to go back to the UFC. I don't know if they'd really openly have him back or not, but he's kind of found his own niche in the Misfits thing. He pretty much said they're offering him way more money than BKFC threw it in for the offers they threw for Mike Perry. So, keep cashing those checks. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm not going to say I'm going to line up to immediately watch it, but, get your money.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. Speaking of Luke Rockhold, Darren Till folded up Rockhold like a lawn chair. So, and Luke did say today that he's, pretty much done fighting. He probably should have been done fighting. I don't know, after the Paulo Costa fight, nobody needed to see him in anything else. But, it seems like there is this weird beef he has with BKFC. I don't know. It's because he went in there and got his teeth knocked in, and he doesn't, now he says it's not a sport, but you didn't really say that when you were in it. Now you did you got folded up, and I'm in agreement. I'd rather see Darren Till fight Jake Paul than I'd rather see Jake Paul fight Tank Davis. I have no appetite for that at all. I probably won't watch a second of that unless it's something on the co-main where I want to be intrigued in it, much like the Tyson fight, where at least they had Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano as the co-main. So like you wanted to tune in for that, you might as well just stick around for the circus. Unless they give me a legit fight on the Paul, on the undercard of Paul Tank fight, I probably won't even tune in. I don't need to see the circus, but I would tune in to see Darren Till fight Jake Paul, because I think it's a legit fight that I think Darren could possibly win. I don't really think he ever makes it back to the UFC. I think he's found, much like Mike Perry, I think he's found his thing that's going to make him some money, at least for now, and do that. So I don't think we ever see him back in the UFC.
Yeah, and well, especially for injuries and stuff, I think that would probably be the right move, because I think he sustains a lot less, having to train the whole MMA aspect with the grappling and the kicking. I know he had some knee issues and stuff. So it is probably a better way to kind of prolong the career he has left and kind of get the most money out of everything. Because, let's just be real. I'm pretty sure the reason he left the UFC in the first place had to do with compensation. And especially when he found out how all the money these guys were making and stuff, why not throw his hat in the ring? The Paul and Tank Davis thing, you don't think you'll get caught up at all in it's on Netflix, so I'm going to check it out. Either way to you, it's just shunned, like absolutely not.
Especially now. Like now there's too much on. Now it's football season. I got too many other things that I could tune into. I don't need to see it. I think when they do the Tyson fight, was that maybe football? It was a Friday night or something, right? But
yeah.
But at least like there was an undercard to that where you're like, I want to watch, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano box. Like I want to tune in for that. I'll just stay in for the rest of the circus, unless they do something like that. I have zero appetite for, at all. I probably won't tune into it at all. I have zero need, zero want.
Yeah. I'm assuming they put some type of watchable fight on the co-main.
Who are you going to put underneath there?
You could get Katie Taylor to fight someone. That might get people to tune in. But
yeah, but she just fought. I feel like, I guess it's not super fast turnaround, but still a decent sized turnaround from when she just fought at MSG here.
Yeah, and I don't know. MVP won't be light with the money, so that's why I think they could probably put on something kind of compelling. But at the same time, I tend to agree with you. It just really isn't for me. Is there something about wanting to watch the freak show aspect of it? Maybe I find the betting line a little crazy, especially when you consider the size difference and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like at this point, we know who he is and what he's doing. The whole reason this matchup is to kind of still get the rise and shock factor out of it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, depending on when it is, especially with football back in, it might be kind of hard to get me to the seat of the table. I'm just wondering in my mind if I'm going to like fall prisoner to the moment of it. Because sadly, these are the cards that people will call me about and be like, oh, are you going to be watching this one and stuff? But I should stick strong. What's William got?
William wants to know what would be the undercard to make people want to tune in. That's what I was thinking, William. Like, I don't really know. Like, to me, it would have to be somebody like maybe Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. I think, you know what I mean. Like, get somebody on the undercard. I don't know.
What if they were able to get Till on that card?
What about Till and Mike Perry been a regular boxing match? I would maybe tune in. That might be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. You know, they're gonna have to go heavy with like some type of other name. At the same time, I don't know, the way Netflix is doing these events, I don't know if they really care. You know, right. It seems like ever since like, I find it very ironic that this is what the Netflix missed out on the UFC for this type of stuff. Or even when putting in a bigger like bid for the football package, you know, getting the one game and stuff. I guess it kind of helps, but especially when you look at like Paramount and all these other places, like really putting an emphasis on kind of the live sports aspect. Netflix still feels like kind of the Carney show of that, you know, like I would say the Serrano Taylor thing was like the most legitimate thing they
we are getting, you know, Canelo versus Crawford on Netflix, so at least there's that.
Yeah, I mean they did pony up for a big one there. I find it hilarious. Like, that fight's 10 days away?
Yeah.
So here's a funny one. Think of like whatever the biggest UFC card is and stuff. Would you compare the promoting or lack thereof almost identical? Because the only promoting I've seen on the TKO aspect side of it is every single weigh-in show, every single press conference, every single Apex pay-per-view. They have the promo for it. But that's like been about it. It's really just like
they've been doing it repeated on Monday Night Raw too.
Really?
Yeah. So every Monday Night Raw on Netflix, they've been since the fight's been pretty much announced, I think they've been running a promo.
So I don't know. I guess that's their strategy to get all these people in is, hey, we'll just show it on the UFC. We'll show it on WWE.
Well, that's the market for it, right? Like, they know the market. Like, those are the people that are going to tune in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you compare it to Turkey's other promoting and stuff, I guess you would say it's over promoting. But, you know, just living in this world and looking at this stuff daily, I just feel like the buzz for it has been a little lackluster. I mean, maybe it'll come in strong on fight week.
That's usually how it happens, right? That's usually what happens, though. I feel like even the UFC is a lot like that. Like, the buzz.
Well, that's why I mentioned, like, do you feel like it's being identically promoted like the UFC?
Yeah. It is. It is carbon copy paste that will build up the buzz. I thought they were gonna do like a tour, like a kind of like a world tour. I thought of like where they were going to go to these different places and have different press conferences, but I guess that never happened.
You know, I just remember the one presser, because you know it was when Canelo did like the little half-ass slap to Crawford.
Okay.
It seemed like And I don't know, like that just reeked to TKO. Like, hey, let's get a viral moment here,
Yeah.
boys. And I mean, I'm surprised they didn't play a power slap promo after that or something. But you know, I kind of thought they'd beef up, you know, the undercard on it. Wit would probably be a better insight, but to me, it looked nothing special. And you know, the main fight is that main card. I might be proven wrong that night. We might get some decent action, but you know, especially with it like going side by side with Noche, I'm
No,
curious if
you'll be able to. Noche will be over with. Noche will be over.
completely.
Yeah, they said completely. I think Noche for sure will be completely over with before Crawford and Canelo ever make a walk.
Well, I know that for sure, but
I think
to
it's will be
me,
completely over with
yeah,
before it even starts.
I mean, to me, them doing it to make sure it's before Bud and Canelo walks is just TKO, like signaling, well, watch the entire Noche card and then pop in for the main event of Canelo Crawford, which I'm sure most of us would be doing. But, you know, you would think like promoting wise, Netflix would want the eyes to be on the entire event and not just that main fight. But this is how boxing is normally promoted anyway, so I don't
Yes,
find it anywhere like out of the normal or anything.
I
And
think I'm pretty sure that Noche will be over with before that card kicks off.
yeah, and I mean, if they do that, that means they're starting Noche a little early too.
Yeah, they are. They are. They're and it's supposed to like lead right into it. Really, it's what they're trying to do. Like if you're at a bar, you stick around, or you're at home, you just flip the telly.
I mean that I'd love that. I hope it could happen.
I'm
So
pretty sure that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to go down. Um,
yeah, I mean, fight week it might feel a lot different, but just
so Kevin Holland said he had 3 p.m. Eastern for time for Noche. So like that's 2 my time, noon your time.
oh, that makes me a lot more excited for Noche. I mean, I figured I'd be having to do some dual screening and stuff. I mean,
Nah, I think I remember Dana saying like, "Nah, you'll be able to watch one and then go right into the other."
well, I mean, then I guess they really have no excuse. I haven't been too impressed with how they built the Noche card. I mean, I know some stuff fell off, but to me, it always felt like the main event that we want to see, and then hey, here's all this other stuff. I mean, granted, there's still some good scraps on there, but that gives me a lot more faith in the product, knowing they're not going to really be going side by side. So, always happy to find out some good news on the
Yeah.
podcast.
You know, speaking of good news, Dana released pretty much the 3 main fights of the MSG card and then a couple other fights last week. I believe it was last Thursday. I didn't really pay attention because as you hit off the top, I was too busy celebrating the Micah Parsons trade. So I could, Dana could have fucking said God and Satan are fighting on the White House lawn. I don't give a shit at that point in time in my life. But we did find out, I mean, worst kept secret in all MMA, it is going to be JDM versus Islam as the headliner. The one that we had talked about on Wednesday, I pitched this all women's card. Well, that's not going to happen because the co-main event is going to be Wei Li versus Shevchenko. Wei Li they did keep the status quo as far as making her relinquish her belt. I know that was something that you had talked about in particularly. So she relinquishes her belt to move up to take on Shevchenko. You also got, it was also announced Leon Edwards will take on Carlos Prates on that card. And then to take on the vacant strawweight title will be Mackenzie Dern versus Verna Jazabrino, or however you say, Verna Crazy Eyes. On the that'll be the co-main in October here in a few weeks to Tom and Cyril Gane there in Abu Dhabi. Your thoughts on just any, whichever one you are looking forward to the most?
I mean, it's unfair to phrase it like that because I'm going to have an obvious answer. I love that they made the Leon Pratis fight. I think that's a great fight stylistically, especially beyond MSG. What did Kev just say that you're giggling at?
He said, he was too busy mourning Jerry Jones' dementia-ridden decision making.
Yes. I mean, like I said, hope Jerry lives to 120.
Sean, what's up, my man?
What's up,
Wait,
Sean?
bright and early. Sean, up late. I don't know if you're up late, Sean, or up early, brother. But appreciate tuning in, Sean.
The corn.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Bobby? I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm excited for all of them, and I know we'll touch on them, but I do love the Prates versus Leon, mainly just because it's on that same card. And especially if you compare it to last year's MSG card, like this feels like a real MSG, like, pulling out all the big guns and stuff. Yeah. And I don't think we're going to need it, but I kind of wish it was 5 rounds. But I understand you can't really do 3 5-round fights for timing. But realistically, I mean, that should be a striker's delight. And 3 rounds probably, favors Leon a little bit more too. I mean, granted, he would probably be favored in 5, but, with Carlos's power and stuff, it's probably a better chance for, Leon to kind of point out a decision and stuff. I do think it's definitely a winnable fight for Leon. Like a hell of a lot more than like if they gave him Morales or something, which I thought they were doing it earlier in the year. So that one excited me only because I really didn't know if it was going to legitly be made or not. I know Pratis called for Brazil. I think Leon said if we're doing that, we're at least doing it in, my terms. And those were probably his terms. So I'm absolutely glad that got done. And, let's just hope all these can stay intact. I know you're probably pretty excited about the co-main. Islam JDM is just in a different tier, so we'll get to that when we get to that. But
yeah, we weren't surprised. We already knew that was going to happen, right? Like we've known that probably for the last 3-4 months. Like all intents and purposes, like that's the fight to make it MSG to be the main event.
Khabib announced it. I mean, we knew from that moment that it was going to be MSG.
So I think we all knew that was going to happen even before Khabib kind of announced it. It was like that's probably going to happen at MSG. To me, it is like I think we all kind of knew somewhat that this Shevchenko and Weili fight was going to happen. Just kind of when, and if it was going to happen, because there was kind of they both kind of had some new blood there on both of them, but Weili's kind of cleaned out everybody. I think she would have beat Dern or Vierna. But you only get very few chances where you get best on best, 1 versus 2 in the women's pound for pound. I mean, Amanda's going to come back and she can regain all the thrones she wants if she can beat Kayla. But right now, these are the 2 best, 2 of the best women in the UFC, in the world. Fuck the UFC, it's just in the world. 2 best women, pound per pound. So you're getting best and maybe you got to do it now, I feel like, because I don't know how much Chevy's got left in the tank. She's a little bit longer in the tooth than Weili, and Weili's been around, and she seems to get better and better every time out. So, and they stuck with the status quo. They stuck with what they'd made. That was the question, right? Like, are they going to strip her? Or is she going to have to give up her belt? I don't think we'll ever see somebody ever again be a 2-double, like have both belts at the same time ever again in the UFC, because they want to keep these divisions moving. It's going to be too hard. So, and I think that's kind of what Sean's saying here. Two double champ fights on a single card is crazy. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, that's correct. You got 2 people going for double champs kind of double champ status, Sean, on this card.
Relinquishing their title that they've held for a while and going for one. So
yeah, to me they'll still be double champ, but they won't, but they're not gonna. They won't, we'll never see them like be the double champ at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Like even when Connor did it, yeah, he still had the other title, but I mean,
he never defended it. Never once defended it.
Yeah. It's I don't know. The writing was on the wall to me. Like when you take Islam's title, like you said, there probably won't be a double champion ever again. I do wonder if maybe the non-pay-per-view and Paramount thing might change that in the future. Like if for like hypothetically, okay, if Ilya and Islam ever fight and Islam is holding that title, do you really think they'll go through that same song and dance again of having Islam drop the title, or would they just make that one happen?
So if you're saying, like, let's hypothetically say Ilya or Islam wins the welterweight, in like, are they going to make him drop the welterweight to 155, move back down to 155, drop the one welterweight title, drop it to go back down to 155 to fight Ilya? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, though I see it very low chance of even happening. I don't think Islam goes near 55 again. And I don't mean to completely dismiss Jack. That's not what I'm doing at all. It's more
I get what you're asking. I don't know. I really don't know. It to me, I think Islam moving up to 170 is a tougher task to go back down to 155 on him, because he was already a big 155er in the weight cut and everything. Like, to build up the muscle and then to try to cut back down. It's not like he was like a tweener. He's not like a Kevin Holland-esque type. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough. I don't think he goes back down. Where I think Weili, if she loses, she can go back down, win her belt again, and we just kind of move on. I think Islam's got a bigger risk here, because if he loses, where do you go if you're with him? Do you go back? I don't think he goes back to 155. I mean, I would love to see him go back down there and fight Ilya, because I still think that would be a hell of a fight. But I just don't know if he loses to JDM. I guess you just at 170 and you just try to work your way back up.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the part that's most intriguing about it as far as the risk factor.
Yeah.
Because like whether or not Islam, he's a slight favorite. I mean, in my opinion, they're giving Jack a lot of respect on the betting line. I know he's, the champion in the scenario, but in my mind, Jack has the 170 title and Islam has, the number one pound for pound. And that is what Jack is trying to take. And Islam is trying to take his title.
If Jack wins, is he pound for pound? If Jack wins,
easily, no questions asked.
Over Ilya,
Ilya is even my number 2 pound for pound. So absolutely
So if JDM wins, he's pound for pound to you.
That's what happens when you beat the pound for pound number 1 guy. Absolutely.
Wow.
And
I don't know if I would put him there. I don't know if I could put him there number 1.
It's, for me, it's really just how high in regards I look at Islam. I know there are a bunch of I don't know a politer way, but say morons who try to diminish his reign at 155.
Detractors,
yeah. I mean, people are trying to diminish his reign at 155. Meanwhile, Ilya is beating the same guys on his resume. So, I mean, that's why, like, personally for me, and me, I'm like an Ilya apologist, but I've never been able, even after that fight, I don't care that Islam hasn't fought this year. To me, I can't even put him higher than 2. And when Chimaev just dismantled a long defending champion in Dricus, whether it was prisoner of the moment, I immediately put him up to 2. But this is why I hate these stupid fucking rankings in the first place. Because, like, I feel like I'm disrespecting Merab. Like, easily, Merab should be higher. I completely get that. And so, I mean, the whole thing's a crapshoot anyways. But, like, if we're talking one, like, yeah, I don't see how you could not put JDM at number one if you were to beat Islam. Because, like, in my mind, that's what JDM is fighting for. And Islam is fighting for his title. I mean, I think Jack even said that.
I mean, I get it. I see the logic. I see your logic. I'm not disputing your logic. Like, I see where I can see how you connect the dots. Like, hey, he was the pound for pound guy. That guy, but I don't even have JDM like it's in my top 5. Maybe he's 5-ish. You know what I mean? So I get beaten one, the pound for pound guy who went up 15 pounds to fight you, and if you beat him, now this is obviously so it's all hypothetical. But I don't think I could put JDM there if he wins. I would probably just bump Ilya or, and Merab, Pantoja up, and I know Hamzat's right there as well. So, I mean, Sean says your take is a crazy take, he says. So,
I mean, Sean's used to me being a wild boy, so it's
not. I see your logic. I get what you're saying. I connect the dots. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
It's like this is my issue with it. Okay, how are we going to like put Ilya at 1? Like, period. Because he has one fight at 155. Where he knocked out Charles Oliveira, who has probably the worst striking defense at that top level. Like, that is enough to just, is it before, like, the reign he was doing at 145 combined with that 155? Is it because he called his moment at 155?
Well, to me, I don't have Ilya at 1. I probably have Islam at 1. But I think what people are saying why he's at 1 right now is because he's had the double champ status, really, right? Like, he went up 1 already. Now, if Islam goes in November and beats Jack, he would be, I think, number 1 in most other people's eyes. I still have Islam as my number 1 because he
would remain number 1 emphatically. To where, like, right now we can have this bullshit fucking online discussion that, I mean, I'm sorry, like, it just does not, that ranking to me always felt like prisoner in the moment. Like, I'll acknowledge it when I did it with Chimaev, but I felt the exact same thing when Ilya was magically at number 1. Like, they just completely forgot that, the terror reign that Islam had at 155. I'm not saying you did that, like, you are, thinking with your brain.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So John here says Oliveira was ranked number 1 lightweight when Ilya knocked him out. Yeah, but Islam had already beat Charles, like, emphatically, and tapped him out. So, like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And Charles hadn't really looked good. Actually, I would tell you Arman was the number 1 ranked guy, actually, and should have been in that title fight instead. But
and I'm glad you led with that name because, like, legitimately what John said, yeah, they had him ranked there. He went in, but, like, to me, that was, and I know Ilya can only fight the competition that is offered to him, and he wanted to fight Islam. But I feel that's a big reason because we did not get the Islam Ilya fight, why all these people kind of put him to the top. Because on their mind, they think that he already beat Islam by default by him moving up. When in reality, I think Islam is moving up for the more difficult fight. He's moving up 15 pounds, fighting a guy on a crazy win streak. And, I think, and I'm not trying to disrespect Ilya at all here, but I do think Islam is taking this fight camp way more serious than if he were to be fighting Ilya Topuria.
Yeah, Kev here says, and Kev makes a good point. Charles got the number 1 ranking off beating Michael Chandler in a boring fight. Armin got number 1 ranking after beating Charles. So yeah, I mean, so.
And if Ilya wants that status, for me, that's the name that I want him to be. Like, you know, if you do that shit to Armin Sarukian, I will put you at 1, no problemo. But saying that you would rather vacate the title than fight him, I'm sorry, like that's not helping your case in putting you at number. And I get, you know, he's brash with all the trash talk and stuff. And, you know, maybe we shouldn't say what he says to the Nelk boys is gospel, for Christ's sake. But I don't know. It like, you know me, I'm the Ilya guy, but I just that having him at 1 is just too rich for me.
Yeah, I mean, John makes a good point here, and I'm not like I but to be the man, you got to beat the man. Another reason why Islam's at 2 is because Ilya's fought more recently, and Islam's last fight was Money Moicano instead of Armin. So,
yeah, and I have absolutely no pushback on that, John. And that's kind of why I'm not like ranting from a rooftop. Like it might seem like I'm doing it now, but I kind of always accepted, okay, yeah, he got bumped because of the activity factor, and he'll like reclaim 1 as soon as he fights, sort of thing.
Yeah, if he wins, he's got to win. He's got to win. That's it, you know.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm fine with, you know, I get a lot of people will look at it that, oh yeah, his last fight at 155 was versus Money Moicano.
That's not his fault. That's not his fault.
I look at it through the other lens. His last fight was supposed to be against Armin Sarukian. Armin pulled out, and I think any other fighter on the roster would not take that fight on short notice. I mean, Topuria probably would because he figured he could knock out Moicano. But I don't see a lot of people in that situation accepting that fight. Just like, yeah,
I will shout out.
I'm ready. Find me my opponent.
I'm going to shout out my homegirl, MMA chick on Twitter and TikTok. She pointed this out, and I never thought about this. You know, Armin and Moicano had the same coaches. Like it's the, you know, still ATT. So they still had the same game plan for, I know, different fighter, but still had the same game plan, right? Then as far as going in there, how to try to beat Islam. So it's not like they went in there blankly stared. So like, you know, kind of gives credit to Islam still too. So I can see that.
I'll allow it.
It is a. Will wants to know, will the rankings not mean as much after they leave ESPN? I think they don't mean much now to like us, but people will always have the rank. They give content creators like me and Bobby at the same time some shit to fucking talk about. So they'll always mean something. They'll mean about as much as they do now as they do now, I think.
It'd be an interesting thing, like if they stepped away from it though a little bit, because it does seem like they're kind of pressured. I think the only reason they exist at a certain point is to have them, you know, this guy's ranked, we'll build them on the card.
Yeah, it makes matchmaking a little easier, and why the rankings show why this guy's kind of fighting this guy, like, you know what I mean, and that's part of the reason as well. So John says he does agree Islam should still be number 1, but if he loses to JDM, it might bump him down to. If he loses to JDM, it might bump him down to 4 or 5. At that point, if he loses to JDM, and JDM, so your logic, Bobby, I'm gonna say JDM would be number 1. Then you'd have to still have Ilya at 2 because of the winning streak. Marab's got the longer winning streak at that time. Pantoja's the longer. He's no longer a champion. So I couldn't put a non-champion at 2 in my pound for pound.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I wouldn't anticipate it being something like Drickus, where I immediately remove him from the pound for pound just because of how bad of a performance he had. I do think you get a little bit of grace moving up 15 pounds, but yeah, I get the idea of it being too rich at 2.
Yeah. So he says no, he doesn't. So in Bobby's logic, John, which I think he was talking about it in his, if you beat the man, you become the man. So he was saying that's how JDM would become one. In my rankings, I could not do that. I would still have Ilya, but I would have to bump everybody else up and then somewhere. But yeah, I'm with you, Bobby. Like, though, it also depends on how Islam loses. Like when Dricus lost, it showed a big hole in his game, right? That we never saw before. It's like, oh well, shit, this guy doesn't even. He's not even completely maybe rounded. If Islam gets in there, let's just say he gets outstruck by JDM. I mean, just for whatever reason, and then it's like just a 5-1, or like 4-1, and it goes to decision. It's just an absolute beatdown. So all that stuff matters, you know what I mean? And I mean, not really that the rankings really pound for pound list. No, it's all fucking subjective anyway.
But like what you just said there, like if that shit happened, that's why he would emphatically be my one.
Yeah. Again, it makes sense. So I don't think that works for pound in moving weight classes. That's the whole point. Pound for pound is just everybody all weighed the fucking same. Who do you think's coming walking out the fucking room? To me, that's what pound for pound means. So.
Yeah, and my pound for pound, John, I definitely do a little different. If they have an upcoming fight, I kind of book it how I think it's going to happen and stuff. And that is not how it's normally done. It's going off the current wins. So, yeah, I'm a little nutty. I do mine a little bit different.
Yeah.
But pull up those horseshit rankings on pound for pound. Is Jack 5 or is he below that?
But let me go to give me 1 second. I'll go to the official UFC pound for pound rankings here. Women's. Oh, here we go. Light heavyweight. Where the fuck is the pound for pound? Pound for pound. Oh, it's the very first one. So, Jack is actually 8.
Damn.
Yeah, so he's behind Magomed, behind Volk. The 5 is Pantoja, Hamzat, Merab, Islam, Ilya.
Yeah, I get it.
So I think Jack would definitely move up. I don't think he would be one on their list. I see your logic. As far as like, hey, he beat the number one guy, he should become the number one guy. But I mean, but we haven't seen JDM since he won the title. And like, you got to build up a little bit of a resume. He has no title fences, John. So no title fences.
But do you really need to build up a resume when you legitimately dethrone the number one guy in the world?
No, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying like that's why he's so low. I don't even know if he probably wasn't even on the list when he fought.
No chance he was. He pretty much took Bilal's spot.
Yeah.
And which is deserved. You won.
Yeah.
But I guess this whole rant just kind of shows how moronic these rankings are.
Yeah,
that's my own personal problem.
We were gonna do our rankings tonight, but I mean, we pretty much just did it. So he says top 5 are single weight champions apart from Ilya. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well, Sean has a definitive ranking system, and he's we'd be here all night if we got and broke that up. Here it comes.
Yeah, well, I would say this though, Sean, we have seen Hamzat in multiple weight classes and win in multiple weight classes, so I think that has a little bit to do with it. While Hamzat is higher than Volk. Just saying. I'm not the UFC rankings guy. I have my own personal rankings, but they're similar to that. But yeah. All right. Bobby, let's get into this Saturday. I am excited for this card. Number one, I'm excited because it has your guy Imavov versus a guy I've crowned your ultimate hater in Kyle Borralho, and I have become the number one Kyle Borralho fan due to your hatred. But most importantly,
You loved him before I got annoyed.
I did, but the fact that you hate him so much makes me want to like him so much more, and wants to see him win because you hate him so much. So your hatred has fueled my fanhood for Caio Borralho. So I want you to know that. But also, more importantly, this thing is in fucking in France, in Paris, and I don't know if you caught any of the Clash of Paris at WWE or any of the stuff that they were doing over there, but them fucking crowds are some of the hottest crowds in wrestling, and even in France, the times that they have been there, especially the first time when it was Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. Yeah, shout out to my guy, our guy Red Wolf as well. He pointed out that if Tai knocked down Cyril Gane a couple times in that fight, and we were just a split couple of seconds away from Tai Tuivasa versus John Jones. How incredible, crazy would have that been? But I digress. But this crowd, this Paris crowd is going to be insane on Saturday. Obviously, it's going to be pro Imavov. I'm sure you're going to bust out the, your French outfit, and you're going to eat some French crepes and everything else on Saturday as well, as you're going to be rooting for Imavov. But this card is not just that card, not that, but then on the co-main, you have another nerd, and it is Fluffy, or Roofy, I'm sorry, versus taking on BSD. This is going to be, this card's pretty good. A lot of international here. This crowd is going to be electric on Saturday. This is a card to tune into on Saturday as the UFC returns.
Yeah, I think they hit it out the park with the matchmaking. Specifically, and I still am trying to figure out what the hell they're doing with this. But, they got Pitbull opening up the main card, I believe. And I wish Whit was here because I'm going to butcher this man's name. After this, I'll just call him by his nickname. But you got the double champ from Octagon, another organization. Lozen Kieta.
Yeah, Kita, I think. Kita?
Yeah, his nickname is Black Panther, so we'll just go with Black Panther there. I'm really intrigued by this matchmaking because I can't figure out if they're kind of out on Pitbull or if they're trying to see what the Black Panther has, because with this type of booking, it seems like they're really trying to take advantage of, the crowd over there and stuff.
I think they're trying to use the Pitbull name. I think they're kind of out, and the odds makers are out. Pitbull is a dog on this at plus 185.
It doesn't shock me. I mean, the guy is on a pretty heavy winning streak. He does get some finishes. He's got some lethal ground and pound. But at the same time, from the UFC's perspective, these might be the kind of matchups you got to give Pitbull and stuff. Because at first they were just trying to, rush him to the top, and kind of he struggled with that. So I don't know if they're completely out of the Pitbull business because, when I went to the UFC's website, they don't even got a fucking profile picture up for the Black Panther.
No, they don't. They don't have it on ESPN either. That's what
how
I just
difficult. Pull it off a Tapology. That you cannot be that.
They're they were like the Black Panther. Leave him black.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, I guess I'll give ESPN the pass because they probably could give a shit at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, this card does, looking at it, it reminds me of hey, ESPN, we know you've been loyal with us all these years. We're gonna go out with a bang, and these fight nights are kind of built like that. Even up on the card, you got another hot debuting prospect, Axel Sola, hell of a lot fucking easier to pronounce. He's 10-0-1, and he's fighting Reese McKee.
Yeah.
That is should be very stylistically as well.
A close fight. Odds have that pretty much even.
Yeah. What John say there? I missed that.
He said they never have it. They never have it for new fighters. They even have it for Aaron Pico either on 392. They don't. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for the small. We didn't get into this with the Dana White announcement, but for that announcement, would it have been that difficult to take an Adderall or something Like he was just like on autopilot, tired on a flight. Like have someone else.
Dana was in shock about the Micah Parsons trade. You know what I mean? That's all. Maybe
they should have had Micah make the fucking announcements. Like, could you imagine like how would have gotten a lot more traction, you know?
Yeah. I didn't realize that Pitbull's not even on the main card.
He's not. I thought he was the first fight on the main card.
No, he's the main event prelim.
God damn. Like, I mean, if it was on a pay-per-view, you could at least see, hey, they're going with, the featured prelim bout, but I don't that might kind of just lean how loaded the main card is with young talent, because it kind of
it is weird matchmaking for Pitbull, right? Though, like you match him up with Yair first thing, he looks awful in that. He looks decent against Dan Ige, so you're like, okay, now where there's like, oh, here's this no-name guy making his UFC debut in France, and we're sending out Pitbull.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's very easy to come across this as, they're trying to kill Pitbull off, and
I don't know what. I mean, this is his third fight in the UFC. I don't know what his contract was, but shit, maybe they're like, kill him off and fucking see you later. Good riddance.
I did wonder with the Ige fight if they did kind of have a little bit of buyer's remorse, because if he wins, that is kind of how it's gonna look, But it's just interesting for me because now you're bringing in these young hot prospects that they kind of want to give the same boost to Pitbull. So, I mean, is he going to piss in their Cheerios? That's going to be interesting to find out for me.
Maybe it's a 6-fight main card, John, but on ESPN it says he's match 6, which would tell me that he is on the prelims. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was also going off tap, and it like showed it on the main, and
or maybe it's a 6-fight main card.
Yeah, and I just kind of assumed that like that's a great fight to kick this off. I mean, I'm going to be watching it anyways, but I mean that's a great way to get people to drop what they're doing, and I love that it's on early too.
Yeah, so John says it is 6 fights. Thanks for the clarification, John. Appreciate it.
Well done, UFC.
Yeah. Mason Jones versus Bolje Oki is kind of on this card. Another close fight. Odds makers have it 16, pretty much even, -140 for Mason Jones. Paul Craig makes his return, still at light heavyweight. The second fight back at light heavyweight. He's a heavy dog in this one at +280. He's taking on Mutasas Bukakis. Heavy favorite here at -370.
Yeah, shout out to Mason Jones. Yep, I knew it was coming. That's definitely Sean's guy there. So that's another good one they got thrown on. Paul Craig, I mean no disrespect, but I don't really like his chances in this at all. I guess the question is how good is the other guy if he pulls guard, but the line kind of makes sense with that. I'm glad the UFC re-signed him. He seemed to kind of only want to fight in the UFC, but yeah, I mean it's a pretty decent main card before we get to the co-main and main, which they pretty much have built. France versus Brazil.
Yeah.
Which it kind of reminds me a lot of the old school cards they used to do, back in the pre-Zuffa days. So
yeah, Bukakis here. He's on a nice winning streak. He's won 4 out of his last 5. So last time out was earlier this year when he beat Cutabella. So that was in. So yeah, that was at UFC 315. So.
Yeah, and I think they put him, in a match to kind of showcase what he got and stuff. So,
yeah.
Be interested to see what he does with the opportunity.
Use Craig's name, who's been around a while. And then the co-main, I'm a little surprised on the odds here, Bobby. Rufy is only at minus 190 here. So over
Did you say only? So you thought he'd be more favored?
Yeah.
See,
BSD is at plus 160. I just think that maybe I'm just high on Rufy, and a lot of people are as well. In the last couple times we've seen BSD out there, it has not looked great. You know, I mean, the Moicano fight was awful. I mean, he did win his last time out back in May, also at UFC 315. But even then, that fight, the first round was questionable. You know what I mean? And then he
took a lot of shots for sure.
The sub in the second, and he has taken on an absolute killer in Mauricio Rufy here. Like, we know Rufy is the last time. I mean, he killed King Green. Remember that back in March. And he's undefeated in the UFC. He's really just he's 12-1. So big. This is a big jump for him. You know, he beat Malarkey, and then he had a decision against Lontop, knocked out King Green, and now is taking, you know, his biggest jump to BSD, that almost ranked, you know, type here.
Yeah, to me, I think the odds are kind of like spot on, odd wise, because if we would have made this matchup, let's say pre-Poirier or something, like pre-BSD Poirier,
even after the Poirier fight, I would say like if it was rough, you know what I mean, before I saw the Moicano fight.
Yeah, I mean, the Moicano fight, you know, I don't like normally handing out mulligans, but when I found out that he didn't even have a coach, that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah,
almost even more crazy, like the success he had prior. So I really don't know how to take that, but I do think the odds, I think they're represented like that because we don't really know what we're going to get from Rufy in the grappling department and stuff. And, you know, Benoit definitely can grapple. So you would think that would be the most sane, logical way for him to get to victory. But Saint Denis is a nutty motherfucker. Like, he will stand there and trade with a guy that has lethal hands. So I think that's, you know, either way, I think it's going to be, you know, entertaining for us. But in my opinion, I think that's about how much you can favor Rufy when we have some unknowns about him still, like in the grappling department.
Yeah, I agreed. I guess I could see that. I just think that Rufy is probably a bit, should be a bigger favorite.
Going off that last Saint Denis performance, I get why you'd have that angle, because that, though he did get the win, that was a rough W for sure.
Yeah. Who you like winning this fight?
I feel like if I pick BSD, you're just gonna claim I'm hating on the fucking fighting nerd.
You might as well stick with the French. You're already going. We already know who you're picking in the main.
I mean, with what I saw in Saint Denis' last fight, it's really hard for me not to pick Rufy in this.
That's same.
You know, I don't know if Rufy's game is to bring you into a firefight, and everything in the past that I've seen from Saint Denis is he will oblige that shit.
Yeah, he
and that, you know, can just we saw what happened. Obviously, he's not King Green, but you kind of see, if you know they're in that predicament, what could happen. It would not shock me at all if Saint Denis was able to get the win. I do consider him a live dog, but yeah, if I'm just straight picking, I'm probably gonna have to lean with Rufy here. You know, he has that wider stance and stuff, but I've always thought like that makes him, more easy to take down, but he's yet to been able to have that go against him. So I'll probably have to lean Roofy there for sure.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going with Brazil in this one. We get to the main event. It's Nasruddin Imavov. You could call this the number one contender for the middleweight title, possibly. Imavov 16-4, obviously coming off the huge win against Izzy back in February when she won by knockout. Before that, he had a unanimous decision against in France last year against the unanimous decision against Brendan Allen. Remember, Brendan Allen looked good in that fight the first few rounds. Did beat Jared Cannonier, and again in the fourth round, he caught Jared. Jared was kind of winning that fight at one point as well. And then you got Kyle Borralho, your favorite fighter. He hasn't fought in almost a year. I mean, in fact, it's been over a year. Last time he fought was against Jared Cannonier on August 24th.
Because people have been ducking him, right?
I mean, possibly 17-1. Obviously, his on a hot winning streak here, undefeated in the UFC. He actually hasn't lost since his second fight out, according here. So, like, the dude has just been on a pretty much like a 16-fight winning streak. They do have Kaio, the slight favorite, at minus 130. Your thoughts here, Bobby, on I think it's been a pretty much good anticipated fight here.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me last week what on the calendar, what was probably the fight I was looking forward to, and it's definitely this one. I mean, you get more clarity at what's going on with a 180 fight. I do think it's a fight that needed to happen. I really don't blame Imavov at all for kind of holding out to see where he might have. There was a decent chance that they gave Dricus him next if Chimaev couldn't get his visa stuff figured out and stuff,
or if he got hurt or anything.
Exactly. And I found it a little bit wild that Kyle was willing to be the backup fighter. I mean, I know in his mind you get a shot at the belt, so why not? Who knows how much weight he really cut, so it's really hard to speculate it. But I don't know. Like, I'm just going to completely dial it back here. Because
you dial it all the way up, Bobby. We dial it all the way up. Why dial it back?
Because I did not always despise Kyle Borralho as I did. I mean, like, when he first came into the contender series and stuff, and it was like, okay, I'm intrigued here. Let's go. And from there, he was able to pretty much bring in the rest of his team through the contender series and his relationship with the UFC, which was good. All the credit in the world to him for getting people, his close teammates into the organization. They've all kind of kicked off, and the hype has risen from there. I'm not hating on any of that. Get yours. Where I draw the line is this horse shit fucking people are ducking me because, I went into a war with Jared Cannonier. Like, I'm sorry, Kyle has shown me nothing for anyone at the top to be afraid of him. Like, sure, like they could win, but like ducking and not wanting to take the fight, like get the fuck out of here with that. And I understand he did it to play into, getting views and stuff. But like, this is the same guy that tweeted that Ben Askren died for clicks.
Also said that Hamzat was going to retire.
Yeah, like all this, clickbait shit, and maybe I really shouldn't be hating on it too much, but a lot of that just like rubbed me the wrong way. Of you talk about these guys all the time squandering on their spot. He's at 6, which is deserved for like the people he's beaten, but he's just sitting there acting like 1 through 5 want nothing to do with him. And it's like, you think I was born yesterday? Like, that might work for your TikTok fan base. Have at it if you want to do that. But like, I just call wolf tickets on that type of shit. So if you want to make me seem like the asshole, Kyle, this is your opportunity to do it. You want me to believe that you are the contender that everyone in the Discord has been claiming that you have been for ever since you came into the UFC, and you're the next greatest thing since buttered toast. This is your chance. Show me. Don't show me by just trying to lay on Imavov for 25 minutes and etching out the decision. I think Imavov beats him everywhere. I think he's better at striking. I think he's faster. Sure, you want to throw the Brandon Allen fight in there where Allen controlled him in the top position. Imavov eventually
with the feet or with the hands too. Early on,
the what?
Allen was beating him with the hands early on in that fight.
He was, but Imavov adjusted. I don't know if it was more Allen blowing his load in the first and kind of getting frustrated in the second and third round. But, Imavov clearly won that fight when the exact opposite. I mean, shit, I remember in the first fantasy season, I had Brendan Allen. I was, all like, ooh, this is looking very good. And then the second round came, it's like, I think I'm fucked and I'm losing some points here. But like Imavov is the complete opposite with Kyle to me. Every time I see him, I get a little bit more and more impressed. So, you already know where I'm going with this. My question to you is, sell me on this motherfucker. Like, why should I believe that Kyle Borralho can beat Imavov on Saturday? The floor is yours.
I think
it's a spite pick. I respect that if you just claim it's a spite pick.
It is a spite pick. It is a 1,001 spite. I can't really give you like why I think Kyo's going to win because I think they're even. I really do. Like I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a good fight.
Do you think if Kyle wins, it would be by decision most likely?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if he gets the finish. Imanov's tough to finish. We've never really seen that happen. Either guy. I think both guys are tough. So I think it kind of goes the distance. I do think Kyle could probably beat him on the ground. He's a little bit better grappler. So I think that's kind of maybe where it'll go. We didn't see that with Jared. He stood with the fire with Jared and kind of went toe-to-toe, which I was kind of surprised when he fought Jared Cannonier. But yeah, I think Kyle's just, and John's saying it here too. I think Kyle's on the ground is better. I think his, and that's where I think his strong suit will go into play.
For me, with Kyle on the ground, it's always been more about control. There's never any scenario where it's like a fight finishing sequence. So I think I just trust Imavov to survive if that comes.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's a close fight, but I do think I favor Kyle on the ground here, in control, ground, maybe some ground and pound. Oh, no, there we go. Go back here. John kind of said this real fast, and I think that this is going to force the fight. Both fighters know that they are really kind of fighting for the title. Decent chance. He says winner of RDR versus Fluffy gets the shot first. I think whoever puts on the more entertaining fight, whichever fight, if this is a boring fight, they're gonna be like, fuck that. You guys aren't getting a title shot off a fucking boring ass fucking fight. So I'm a little nervous that they're gonna fight fire with fire and go hand in hand here, and try to push a lot of action between the both of them because they want to make an exciting fight. Both of them need a finish, like to prove that they're next. You need, just much like Lerone Murphy stamped when he knocked out Aaron Pico, and stamped his like, hey, I'm fucking here. I want the title shot. And you're like, that's the reason he owns the title shot is because that's emphatic knockout. I think you're going to kind of see something. You need a finish. Both of these guys need a finish. Whoever wins this needs a finish because like if Fluffy or RDR get a finish in their fight and it looks better and cooler, you know what I mean? How drives up the numbers, they're going to want to promote that guy. So I think you're going to need a lot of action, and I think you're going to both these guys are going to seek a finish. Whether it happens or not, I'm not too sure. But it is a little bit of a spite pick, so I'm going with Kaio here, just because you hate him so much.
Hate's a strong word, but I think Imavov gets it done. He dusts him in the second. I'll go Imavov by KO in the second round.
Woo! Okay. All right. I can't wait till next week. And next week next weekend is the Canelo fight. So we'll talk about that next week, and obviously UFC Nocha next week as well. Yeah,
there we go. Once you get into like September and like definitely October, it's loaded. So
October's packed. Packed. Like the 2 pay-per-views in October, because there's not one in September, and then there's like a great fight night in there as well. October is packed. So yeah, can't wait. And we did get we didn't mention it, but we did get the last fight announced of the year, last fight ever on ESPN that we like, as far as like maybe Contender Series or something will be there. But Brandon Royval, I'm surprised he's coming. I mean, kind of a quick turnaround from the tough fight, and he's taking on Manel Cape, who is right there as well. I mean, I'm sure it'll be Brandon Royval versus somebody, because as we know, Cape pulls out. So.
Yeah, I really hope Kate can stay healthy, because I've wanted to see that for a long time. So,
yeah,
that one's long overdue for sure.
That would be the last fight of the year, last fight on ESPN. And guess where it's at, Bobby? The glorious Apex. Nothing.
Oh, those motherfuckers! Are you kidding me?
Nothing's more fitting. Nothing's more fitting than finishing out the year at the Apex and on your time at ESPN.
I wonder if ESPN's like watching that event and they're like, "This is why we went with WWE." At least all their shows have fans.
So there's that. You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, not really. Fly Eagles fly. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck Kyle Borralho. I'm gonna, enjoy a nice win manana. Enjoy a croissant Saturday morning to support the French. And who knows? Like I said, if Kyle shows me something and gets it done, like, I'd be more than happy to see that happen. It's not like I despise him to the fact that I want him to fail. I just have not seen that yet. Like, show me.
He's going to show you Saturday, Bobby. He's going to show you Saturday. I'm going to say I told you so. Yeah. As I drive the Kyle Borralho fandom here, I'm his number one fan because you're his number one hater. Other than that,
you better write Free Spirit on your neck next week if you win.
Just draw it up. Maybe I will. Hey, that's what you need to do if he loses. If he wins and shows, that's what you need to come on. That's what you need to do.
Well, I'm not sure if maybe we'll have a show on Halloween. That sounds like a great Halloween costume.
There you go. Hey, hell yeah. Other than that, folks, we'll be back next week. I'll be back with the boys on the fall start tomorrow, talking all things NFL. We will give our NFL futures prediction as far as like MVP, Super Bowl winner, and then we'll preview all the games and make all our picks for week 1 on the slate against the spread as well tomorrow. So other than that, we'll be back for another episode of Headkicks and Haymakers next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be a friend, tell a friend. Like, subscribe, smash the bell so you know when we're going live. Get all those great alerts. We'll see you then, folks. See ya.
Appreciate the chat.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.